bear with me while I get the hang of this. I didn't want to teach on Zoom because it's been dropping me lately. It dropped me 3 times last week in different meetings and calls. The YouTube live stream did not go as I planned. So I've got a class and I want to teach it. I'm just going to teach it to the camera here. And with my phone instead of the webcam, it's just not as good. But things adapt, we change, we move. We do what we have to do. All right. Let's get started breathing together. Inhale like you're smelling a flower. Exhale like you're playing a flute. Two more, just like that. Let's come into Supta Baddha Konasana. Put the candle here for your viewing pleasure. So Supta Baddha Konasana is bound angle pose while reclined. You simply lay on your back and bring the soles of your feet together. Whenever I start a practice, I like to have some essential oil nearby that I can smell or even rub on myself. So if you have some, this is a good time to do that. If not, bring the soles of your feet together. Lay back. Supta Baddha Konasana. I'm going to take my mala off and hold it on my belly. If you have a mala, see how it feels to put it on your belly. One hand on top of the stones on top of your belly. Breathe fully into the belly. Exhale, let go. Let go of whatever it needs letting go of. As you lay here, just let your day wash away. Let anything that happened that didn't serve you just go. As you breathe with your hand on top of your belly, notice the power of your breath, the power in your belly. And as you exhale, notice all of your muscle tension melting away. Soften the muscles behind your eyes, soften your jaw, soften your shoulders. Anytime you're laying on your back, after you've been laying there for a moment, you might want to lift your back up, squeeze your shoulder blades together, and then return to the floor. I just became aware before I did that my shoulders were trying to come up into my ears, and my shoulder blades, my scapula, were so far apart. So we can open the heart, press the heart and the chest toward the sky by bringing the shoulder blades together under the belly. Continuing to breathe fully into the lower belly. In Chinese medicine, we call this the dantian, or the lower burner. I want you to continue to be in this restorative yoga position for about the next 3 or 4 minutes. And during this time, continue that breath deep into the belly, deep into your hand, energizing the stones, the lava beads, or the wood that rest on your belly if you're holding your mala. Inhaling, you create space for yourself. And exhaling, you let go of what's no longer serving you. When the bottoms of the feet are together in this way, we become a conduit of energy. We're like a complete circle. A complete circuit. The energy that we breathe in and the energy that we breathe out just travels through our body. Breathing in, we bring prana through the top of the head, through the crown chakra, down into the roots, into the legs, into the feet, and with the feet pressed together, it goes right back up through the feet, through the legs, through the root, through the belly, all the way to the throat and the third eye and the crown. Just breathing and enjoy being your own little conduit of energy, your own little closed circuit. Maya Tiwari, the Ayurvedic physician, who is just a phenomenal human being and feminist, tells us that this position with the feet together in Supta Baddha Konasana, whether you're male or female, it really energizes your feminine energy, your Shakti. So on your next few breaths, see if you can feel that Shakti energy which originates and hangs out around the sacrum. And in the front of the body, that's the space of the pelvis, the lower abdomen. And know that any time we energize our Shakti energy, our feminine energy, we're bringing in the energy from the earth, the nurturing qualities, the feminine presence of earth. Lay here with your own wisdom for 4 more full breaths in and out, creating space and letting go. Soften. Release. Surrender. Allow. After your 4th breath, bring your knees together gently. Place your feet on the ground. Curl your lower back so that you're pressing your sacrum into the ground. Then pull your tailbone up slightly, pressing the middle of your vertebrae into the ground. And then you can either cross your ankles and rock yourself up, or you can roll to one side and bring yourself up to a seated position. Our next position, our next pose, we're going to now leave the world of restoration and enter the world of yin. So here we're going to be working with coming to an edge and being uncomfortable on purpose. So with the restorative yoga, we're comfortable on purpose. With the yin practice, we're going to be intentionally uncomfortable. So there's going to be a couple of different ways you can take the next pose. I'm moving because I need the movement, and if you need the movement, then take the movement with me. So the first pose you could do is Sukhadya, easy pose. There's really nothing easy about it. And be sure that if you're taking easy pose, you've got your non-habitual leg in front. So if you're not sure, just see like how you naturally arrived. And when I'm here, my knees are flush. This is my habitual pattern of sitting in Sukhadya. So I'm gonna change it up and put the other leg in front, and that makes my knee pop up, and that's how I know I need this hip work. So from Sukhadya, we're gonna lean forward, placing the palms on the floor. And if in this position you're beginning to feel an edge in either hip, then this is where you want to stay. If you want to feel a little more, then you can come into fire logs. Fire logs is a more advanced version of the same pose, but remember that the most advanced version of your practice is the one that's right for your body. There's nothing that you need to do to impress me or anyone else. You need to do what's right for the temple in which you live. No one lives in your body but you, so you know what you need better than anyone else. In fire logs, we're putting the ankle directly on the knee. Notice that my leg isn't here. This isn't lotus. So for some people's legs, this is structurally not feasible or possible. If you have bow legs, like me, then this pose is more accessible, but it also is going to be a lot of a challenge. So just check to make sure you've got the proper alignment. The knees and the ankles should be propped on top of each other. If that's not an option, go to Sukhadya, or the third option is going to be to go into shoelace, knee on top of knee. I don't feel a whole lot of edge when I'm in shoelace, so I really want to stick with the fire logs. And some people don't feel edge here. That's really about your anatomy more than your ability. Let's place our hands on the ground. Begin to walk your hands forward so that your belly button is coming closer to your mat. And even though your belly button will never be on your mat, you've got legs in between you and your mat. Just know that that's the line of direction. From the belly to the mat is what we want. So we don't want this. We're not just curving our upper back. We're actually pressing our waist towards our legs. No matter which shape your legs have taken, take your time easing into the pose, and we're going to stay there for 3 minutes on each side. As you feel yourself get comfortable, as the edge goes away, that's when you know that you can start to lean in more toward the edge by bringing your belly a little bit closer to the floor. Be patient and gentle with yourself. Notice what you notice. Notice whichever emotions, physical sensations come up for you. And see if you can just allow those to be there without needing to fix them. Let your breath guide you. With every inhalation, we're still creating more space. With every exhalation, we're letting go. Find the place where your arms need to be in order to get what you need for your hips, for your low back, for your edge. And keep working toward finding a new way to be uncomfortable. We never strive for pain. We just move toward the discomfort. If there's pain, then you should back out. Ease up. And if it's hard to stay, see if you can do it anyway. Let's spend the last minute of this pose in silence with your own inner wisdom. Two more full breaths. And after your second breath, use your hands to walk yourself back up to a seated position and just notice what difference there is. I made quite a lot of progress, and my knee has come almost all the way down. So take note of your own progress. You can use your hands to lift your ankle out of your lap. Let's stretch our feet out in front of us before we do the next leg. So feet straight out. We're in Dandasana or caterpillar pose. We're just going to windshield wiper the feet left and right. And let that translate all the way up to the hips. Don't be controlling with your windshield wipers. Just let them go nuts. Nutty nut skipper. And then once you've completed your windshield wipers, get some external rotation in your ankles. And then switch to internal rotation. And notice if it's awkward and just let it be. And if your ankles are cracking as much as mine, it just means you're releasing that synovial fluid. Has nothing to do with the fact that I'm 40, I swear. Or does it? Point the toes and pull the toes back to you, and point the toes and pull the toes back to you. If you haven't used your legs today, if you've been rather stuck inside and not exercising at all, it might feel good to flex the feet to the point where you're engaging your quadricep muscles. And then relax that, and then point the toes and maybe engage the quadricep muscles again. And then let the feet be neutral. Then we'll fold the legs in again. So find if you're in Sukadya pose or in shoelace, or if you're taking fire logs. They're all right. None of them are the correct and none of them are the incorrect. Just find your legs in the shape that's gonna work the best for you. Inhale and exhale as you fold forward, finding that edge on the next side. You already know what to do because we just did it on the other leg. So as I'm talking, I want to make sure that you are checking in with your body, using your breath to guide you, and always working toward your edge. We don't want numbness, pain, or tingling, but we're looking for that spot that's rather uncomfortable so that we can learn to stay there. Whether you've been active or whether you've been sedentary, a yin practice is really essential. When we're moving a lot and working out and playing sports, the muscles get so tight and the fascia gets tight as well, and we need to loosen it. When we're laying around doing absolutely nothing for months on end, we also need to work with the fascia to loosen and open so that we can tone and strengthen our muscles and release the emotions that are stuck in our soma. Check in with yourself, see if there's a little bit more room for you to lean forward. Take what you need. I think a yin practice is incredibly important right now in this time on the earth because day to day we're being asked to try to cope with not knowing what the heck. We don't know when people are going back to work, and we don't know when people are going back to school, and we don't know what school's gonna look like. And when we know today, it's gonna change tomorrow. We don't know if there's a vaccine coming. We don't know if people have immunity that have already had coronavirus. All of these things are a gift. Alan Watts calls that the wisdom of insecurity. It's just not knowing. Not knowing is a really important place to be and to learn how to cope. Because if we're always seeking that control of knowing what's happening, there's going to be times in our life when we're just groundless, when the rug is just ripped out from under us. And then what? If we don't have coping mechanisms, some really unhealthy habits can begin, and they can be detrimental to our health and even our lives. So, as insane as this time is, The yin practice is going to help you get really comfortable with being uncomfortable. 3 more breaths here. After your 3rd breath, use your hands. Walk yourself slowly back up to a seat. Notice what you notice. Maybe you've opened up your hip. Maybe there's less space between your knee and your heel. Or if you're in shoelace, I bet you notice something. Use your hand if that feels right, and get that leg out of your lap. Let's come into cat-cow. So place your hands firmly on the mat. Check back to make sure that your feet aren't sickled. We want to make sure that our ankles and knees are in perfect alignment. The hips are right over the knees, and the shoulders are right over the palms. We're going to press up out of the palm. We don't want to dump down into the heel of the hand. If you lift your fingers and your body stays just where it was, then that's not quite the right position you want to be in. Let's act like the middle of your hand is a suction cup. Press your fingers into the mat. And just feel your table. Nice table. We're going to move through some cat-cows now. So inhaling, we're going to come into cow. We arch the lower back, open the chest to the wall in front of us, gaze up. Exhale, round the back, press those fingers down, press the knees down, press the spine towards the sky, press the chin toward the chest. If your hips move back towards your feet, that's okay. Inhale as you dip forward like you're scooping ice cream. I guess in that analogy, your body would be the scoop. Exhale, coming into cat. You're like a Halloween cat with your back arched. Reach your spine toward the sky. Go ahead and let your hips come back toward your heels, and then make it like a dance. Inhale as you arch your lower back. Getting great flexion in their spine as you gaze upward. Exhale as you round, pull the belly into the chest. Pull the belly in toward the spine. Take the spine toward the sky. And one more time with your own breath, of course. Inhale, look up. Exhale, round. Come to a neutral place. And let's just move straight from here into swan. So we're going to have our right leg come into swan position first. So scoot your right knee in between your hands. Let your left leg go straight. Again, check to see that your leg is not sickled. So you can stay here in swan with one hand on each side of the knee. My legs are not flexible in this way, so your heel might be more toward the front of your mat than mine. Ideally, this leg that's bent would be parallel with the top of the mat. I don't have that kind of movement in my leg. And that's just something I know about my legs. And that's not something I will ever have on my legs. My bones are just not shaped that way. So just allow yourself to have what you have. If this is troubling on the knee that is straight, then pause and grab a pillow or a blanket and stick it underneath that knee. Our joints are like ancestors, and we want to respect and treat them well. If you have the space to do so, you can come down onto your forearms. And then when it feels right, if it feels right, you can come into full sleeping swan by bringing your head down onto your arms. A thunderstorm is brewing here. It's lovely. Breathe into the sensations that you feel. Notice what you notice. Try to stay present with the discomfort that you may feel, and try to move closer to it rather than move away from it, if that makes sense. Soften the muscles behind your eyes, soften your jaw, soften your shoulders. Let's stay just like this for 3 more full breaths. After your 3rd breath, use your hands and press yourself back up to swan, non-sleeping swan. Let's bend the extended leg. Reach the arm back. If you can, take hold of your ankle or your foot or your shin. And just pull. Not only are you feeling the stretch in your hip flexors when you do this, but also in your quadricep muscle. And in the yin poses, we're hoping to stretch the fascia, not just the muscles. Pull and notice that rather interesting and delicious, maybe excruciating edge that you feel. And breathe into that space. Just because something's hard doesn't mean we shy away, it doesn't mean we can't do it. This is one of the most beautiful poses, I think. I don't know if I'll ever have the back flexibility to be able to grab my back foot with my upper hand, but I do think it's a beautiful pose. If your left leg is the one extended and being held in your other hand, when your right arm comes up and arches back, you've just come into mermaid pose. Inhale and just stay here. Exhale, let go. 2 more breaths. After your next breath, bring that foot down, curl the toes, press your toes into the ground. Let's come back into a brief plank. Lift the hip towards the ceiling in downward dog. Just press your belly towards your thighs and get that nice stretch. And then we're going to bring the opposite leg forward, coming into swan on the other side. So if your right leg was folded in front of you last time, now it'll be your left leg. Check to see that your right leg is extended straight, your ankle is in line with your knee. And when you're ready, you can fold forward onto your forearms, or you can go ahead and lay all the way down onto your forehead. Breathe into all the sensations that you feel in your body. Maybe even have gratitude for your body, for having a body, for all that that entails. You know, it's really wonderful. Think of every really tumultuous, horrible thing that you've ever been through. And then remember that it didn't last forever. You got through it. Time ticked on. Things changed. So we're in this drawn out period of uncertainty and weirdness and sickness and paranoia, distancing from our brothers and sisters. I don't need to list all of the worries of the world, but do know in my heart of hearts that it's not going to be like this forever. We're going to work through it just like we've worked through so much else. And truth be told, we haven't collectively worked through much as a generation. This is the second, I feel like, of two things that we've ever really had to work through. The first being 9/11. And this affects more people directly than that tragedy did. This feels different, of course, because it is, and I know we're going to get through it. We're going to pull through. Notice what you're noticing in your body. Notice where your edge is. One more breath here. And then use your hands to press yourself up. And then again, we're going to bend that back knee and reach for the foot. Creating quite an edge in the quadricep muscle, the front thigh muscle of that right leg. If you can reach the shin, you can do that. Maybe you can even put your foot in the crook of your elbow. Maybe you can grab the back of your pants. Whatever you can do, it's great. If you can't grab anything at all, that's also great. Where you are is exactly where you should be. It's where you need to be. I don't think that I can lift up on this side the way I could on the other side, but I am going to try. Nope. I don't have the tripod balance on this side to lift my left hand off of the ground to come into mermaid. 3 more breaths. After your 3rd breath, lower that right leg down, press those toes into the ground, come into plank pose. Let's just hold plank here. Engage your Uddiyana Bandha, that's the belly. This is what we call crocodile pose in yin. Feel the strength in your core. If your arms are shaking, then you're doing it right. If your arms aren't shaking, hold it for a little bit longer. Inhale, lift your hips toward the ceiling. Begin to walk your hands and feet toward each other. Let's lift the hands off of the ground. Hold our elbows in the opposing hands. And just dangle. This is called dangle pose. We're standing, we've got our legs as straight as we can have them. Heels on the floor, head dangling down. If the knees need to bend, that's perfectly wonderful. We want to try to get the thigh and the belly together. So I need to bend my knees a little bit in order to get my belly on my thighs. Nod your head yes and no and maybe, but no, but also yes. Let your head hang heavy, let all the blood and the nutrients rush to your brain. Remember to breathe. Let's straighten the right leg. Keep the left leg bent slightly. And as that right leg is straight, see if you can press your thigh toward that right leg. Just drinking in that sensation. Really opening the fascia on the back of the leg, the calf and the hamstring. Inhale, and as you exhale, bend that right knee, extend the left knee. This time bring your belly towards your thighs again and really press into that straight left leg. 3 deep breaths. Excellent. Place your hands on the tops of your feet. Bend your knees. Let yourself come back all the way down onto the mat. We're going to lay down on our backs and come into Bananasana. So Bananasana doesn't sound like a real pose, but it is. It's banana pose. So laying on your back, we're going to take the right heel over to the right so that it comes way off of your mat. And we're going to take the right hand and reach down the right thigh, letting the head and shoulder follow so that your head is cocked to the right, your right leg is out, your right hand is stretched down towards your right knee. And then we're going to take that left foot and come over and meet the right foot. And doing this last part is going to be what opens the left side body. We're going to extend the left arm up and over the head so that we are now shaped like an actual banana, Bananasana. Breathe here. Notice what happens. Notice where you feel it. Whenever you need more of a stretch, just inch your way a little bit more scrunched up on the right so that the left side opens up. Three more breaths here. After your third breath, straighten yourself out so that you're just a complete straight line. Let's bring both hands up over the head. And I don't mean pointing toward the sky, I mean with your biceps near your ears. Point your toes away from your body as much as possible while simultaneously pointing your fingertips away from your body. Just getting a nice long stretch like you're being pulled both directions. Let's do 2 more sighs, just like that. Inhale and let yourself go on the exhale. One more. That would have been better if I had horse lips instead of vocal. I sounded like a Sesame Street alien. Let's breathe in and have horse lips on the exhale, so you sound like a horse. Inhale. That's the ticket. Take your left heel over to the left side of your mat. Let it come way off of your mat. Let your left hand reach down towards your left knee. Let your left head arch over so that your left ear is coming more towards your left shoulder. And then let your right arm come up and above the head, also reaching over to the left. Getting in that nice banana shape again, Bananasana. If you haven't seen Despicable Me lately, might be a good time to watch it. It's banana friendly. One more breath. Let's see how we're doing on time. All right. I was going to make you do sit-ups, but I think I'm going to skip that because I'd really like to have a nice long Shavasana. And before we do Shavasana, I'd like you to bring your feet flat on the mat. Then let both knees come to the left side. Open your arms in a cactus shape. And let your head look over to the right shoulder. If this is not doing anything for your lower back, if you're not feeling an edge, you can wrap your right leg around your left in eagle legs. This is reclining twist. So we lay down and we twist up and we stretch in the transverse plane, getting in between all the vertebrae of the spine. Breathing as fully and deeply as we can here. Three more big, beautiful breaths, creating space with your inhalation, creating softness with your exhalation, letting go. You don't need to solve any problem. You just need to allow it to be what it is. And the solution presents itself. After your third breath, bring your feet back to the mat. Close your eyes and soften behind your eyes. Soften your jaw. Let your knees come to the right. Let your gaze go to the left. Wrap that left leg around the right leg if you need the eagle legs to get that lower back. Breathe into the stretch and know that when you're twisted like this, it's actually wonderful for digestion. You're giving all your internal organs a big hug. It's great for your kidneys and adrenals too. Two more breaths here. After your next breath, bring your feet back to the mat, straighten yourself out, and get yourself set up for your perfect Shavasana. So if that means for you having a pillow underneath your knees, then get that going on. I'm going to spend a minute trying to have some Shavasana music for you. I had such a great playlist set up on my phone, but I can't record a video and have music on my phone at the same time. So let's see if Sally can figure out how to use Spotify on the Surface. As you lay down on your back, just begin to adjust yourself. Notice what you notice in your body. Keep letting your breath unwind you. Let the ground support you. Sink into yourself. Check in with all of your bodies. Your Anamaya Kosha, the food body. your Manomaya Kosha, the mind body, the Pranamaya Kosha, your energy body, the Vijnanamaya Kosha, your wisdom body, and your Anandamaya Kosha, your true self, your bliss body. As you begin to sink deeply, now that you've checked in with all your bodies, see if you can let go of the outside world. Enter sensory withdrawal, pratyahara, where you notice my voice, you notice the temperature, you notice all these things, but you're somewhere else. You're sinking much deeper. Trust me to be your timekeeper, and allow yourself to just enjoy 11 minutes of Shavasana. I'll ring my singing bowl when it's time to come back. gently begin to deepen your breath. Bring one hand to your heart, one hand to your belly, and just feel your aliveness. Feel your beating heart. Feel your breathing belly. Know that you have homeostasis. You are designed to heal. Your body brings you back to what it needs, regardless of what's happening emotionally or physically. If you allow your body to heal, it will. Blink your eyes in quick succession, finally landing on having eyes open and soft. Roll over to your left side, curl up. Breathe fully into your belly. Notice the temperature on your skin. Notice the quality of light in the room where you are. Notice what you hear, what you taste, what you smell. Let these senses help bring you back to the present moment, and spend the next minute getting yourself ready to sit and meet me in a seated position. Take your full minute. Once you arrive seated here with me, collect yourself in Sukadiya pose. Let your spine be long. We're going to do a Tritaka meditation, which is candle gazing. So I have a candle here, or you can get your own candle. For 1 minute, starting now, we're just going to stare at the flame, and whenever we feel like it, we're going to close our eyes and find the flame in our mind's eye. Breathing into the belly, we'll begin now. Let your gaze soften, come away from the flame. Let your breath return to normal. Bring your hands to heart center in Anjali Mudra. Fill your heart with loving intentions so that you may have compassion for those around you. You don't have to be same. You don't have to be different. You can just be and allow other people to be. Bring your hands to your throat for kind expression. Say what you mean and mean what you say. Bring your hands to your forehead for kind thoughts. Our thoughts become things. Our consciousness dictates our reality. Inhale and bring the hands back down to the heart. The light inside me sees the light inside you. Namaste.